The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jemima Sukbat.
And I'm Jasmine Nero. Join me for sports later in the bulletin.
In this edition, residents told to stop spitting bitter nut. Government comes through with tuition fees, and PNG DFHQ celebrate 50 years. The removal of street vending continues in the nation's capital. NCD police, with the support of NCDC reservists, have been removing people who are doing business in undesignated areas in the city. With the idea of keeping the city clean and crime-free, the police officers had been doing awareness also to educate the public about why they are putting a stop to street vending. However, police say street vendors are not cooperating. The exercise is an effort to keep public spaces safe and clean, including shop fronts, bus stops, and recreational areas. Morobe Governor Luther Wenge and Member for Ley John Rosso have spoken strongly against the spitting of bitter nut. The government is doing its best to upgrade infrastructure, especially the building of concrete roads in Ley City. Citizens are encouraged to take care of these new developments instead of carelessly spitting red wire everywhere in the city.
It costs Ley City 10 million kina to clean up the streets because citizens carelessly discard their rubbish everywhere and spit red betel nut wherever they please. During the opening of the newly upgraded Bad Philemon Drive, Morobe Governor Luther Wenge and Member for Ley and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso spoke against the filthy habit of spoiling new infrastructure with betel nut spittle.
You stop now. Over you below line now. Stop looking at boy. Stop looking at boy. Stop looking at boy. Hi. Who's that come to spittle ya? Who's that come to spittle ya? Who's that come to spittle ya? Hi. You long man, you spit on road. All the man who will come to ya. All the man will come to ya. Lay crab on some of them. All come to you helping you me. Now you spitting about ya. Stop him, boy. The people are looking plenty investors by come here. Me put them concrete road. No kids more than international people come walk here. Give him employment or you pla.
Rosso supported the governor's statement, saying all the new roads have red betel nut spittle on them, reflecting the filthy habits of its residents.
Boy, go spit la house play you downy mo kayo no. Go la house please. I think you should spit inside the bedroom play you too or no. This land public, kind man come, kind white man, China man no nabla place, ST man, some blah 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 sake boy to walk about local ta. Me plan walk about on a sting mouse blue.
Rosso said if the people want change, they too must change their attitudes as well. He encouraged residents to reprimand betel nut chewers who are carelessly spitting out of moving vehicles or on public infrastructure.
Plenty man ask him lo ban him boy lo lay. Me break him stop me same livelihood blue me. But suppose he gets too much, I will ban boy selling in the city of Ley. So you keke lo block, you gonna keke lo place. Inside lo here but tambulo street sales. Suppose you push him in a governor walk him this land.
Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
Police officers around the National Capital District took ownership of the respective areas of operation during Wednesday's downpour to make sure the travelling public did so safely. No major incidences were reported except flooded roads and property. which was devastating for many city residents. According to National Capital District Metropolitan Superintendent Silva Sika, said the sector patrol did footbeats and motorist patrols around the area of operation, which helped with preventing opportunists from taking advantage of the weather. The police did stop and search a few suspicious people. Dr. Francis Hualupmomi has confirmed that the Department of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology has received warrants of 70.7 million kina for TESA scholarships. He said the funds will cater for outstanding TESA components for 2022 second semester, 2023 first semester, help loan payments and airline tickets for tertiary loan payments and airline tickets for tertiary loan payments and airline tickets for tertiary students. Earlier this year, the Divine Word University issued a statement informing students who were under TESA scholarship in 2022 to settle the outstanding fees before they enroll for the 2023 academic year because the government was yet to honor its commitment. This week, Dr. Hualupmomi said the department will commence disbursement of funds to all institutions, putting doubts and concerns over the perceived interruption of the new academic year to rest. He said both first-year and continuing students are advised to visit their nearest NU Guinea offices for tickets commencing next week. Dr. Hualupmomi has assured parents, guardians, students and higher learning institutions that the government remains committed to ensuring the 2023 academic year commences without interruption. This year, the government is sponsoring 19,460 students compared to last year, which was about 16,000. Morobe Governor Luther Wenge said 961 million kina has been allocated by the national government to cover tuition fees from elementary to grade 12 for tertiary students in Morobe. As long as they come under the Gerson Solulu scholarship, all their fees will be met.
Morobe Governor Luther Wenge told media in Leh that the national government has passed a budget of 961 million kina, which should cover the tuition fees of elementary to secondary school students.
Now, all the fine school fee, equal account from all the schools. So, national government is committed to making. Now, all start paying 300 million rupees. 300 million. All board of management is rolled also by must check him account from all. We'll make sure with this money comes in. But it's a government with the country. We don't think all by get money. Now, to me, our budget. Budget me pass him from Parliament, making one vote out of 111 members, making one vote. Me reading budget 961 million from elementary to grade 12, and that also includes a private school, including all the private schools. All two come and need loan. Benefit loan, this 961 million. So it's a work for all private schools, outside long government school, long liaison to the Department of Long Education, long bring him all come inside long benefit loan this school fee.
For Morobe students in tertiary institutions, Governor Wenge said they have allocated 20 million.
Now this is 20 million by no beginning from Morobe also. No guys. And by going over beginning from Papua New Guineans who live in Morobe. And scholarship are covering more. Okay? As long as you can prove him, what's the beginning you and work in primary school of Morobe, now I'm working high school of Morobe, now I'm working secondary school of Morobe. As long as you can prove him, then you benefit from that 20 million.
Governor Wenge clarified that the scholarship will cover non-Morobians as well, especially those who have met the requirements, as outsiders who live and work in Leh also pay tax to the government. He stressed that the government will cover the tuition fees of all students in Morobe from elementary to tertiary. As long as tertiary students are awarded the Gerson Solulu scholarship, all fees will be met. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
The National Court recently ordered the Electoral Commission to conduct a by-election for the Sowe district in Oro Province. Delilah Gore, former MP and runner-up of the 2022 National General Election for Sowe, filed an election petition against sitting MP Henry Amuli on grounds of bribery. Acting Judge Emma Woor, after 2 months of full trial, ruled in favor of the petitioner. She declared Amuli's election as null and void. The Electoral Commission is yet to set a date for the Sowe by-election. The New Ireland government passed its 2023 budget on Wednesday, January 25th, under the theme Challenges in Changing Times. The budget was handed down by Deputy Governor and Chairman of Natural Resources, Sammy Missen. He said budget estimates for 2023 is at 211,367,000 kina. Deputy Governor for New Ireland Province, Sammy Missen, said revenue estimates for the 2023 budget is at 211,367,000 kina, while expenditure estimate is also at 211,367,000 kina. Revenue is equal to expenditure, therefore an equilibrium budget with no budget surplus or deficit. He said in the 2023 national government budget, the New Ireland provincial government was allocated total budget funding of more than 166 million kina compared to 109 million kina in 2022. Missen said with the gloomy and uncertainty due to rising inflation and falling growth rates in the country's economy, the New Ireland government has set its direction for socio-economic growth in this budget by setting focus on revenue generation, free primary health care, and continuation of free and subsidized education for all New Irelanders. He said the New Ireland government has prioritized infrastructure as the pillar in previous budgets and continues in this budget with a total budget allocation of 111 million kina 700,000. Another 3 million kina has been allocated for power lines through the Rural Electrification Program to reach Medina to Konos. Missen said more than 12.75 million kina in the budget has been allocated to improve healthcare and health facilities. The Deputy Governor admitted that law and order is also an issue in the province, with an allocation of 3.9 million kina to address it. TVWAN News continues when we return. Stay with us.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
OpenNet.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day. Skell Rice.
Skin Life.
Pacific. The pride of the Pacific Islands on display. The World Club Challenge is about to get underway.
Welcome back. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and Solomon Islands celebrated the feast day of Saint Francis de Sales this week with focus on the theme of World Communication Day, Speaking the Truth in Love. Social Communication Secretariat organized a conference between the CBC resource staff and media to discuss the issues of violence in the country in the form of gender-based violence and sorcery accusation-related violence.
The feast day of St. Francis de Sales, patron saint of writers and journalists, was observed with a panel discussing on the issue of gender-based violence and sorcery accusation-related violence. It was organized by the Catholic Social Communication Secretariat. Panelists were Bishop Justin Ain Sungi of Wabek Diocese talking about sorcery accusation-related violence, and Paul Hariknen, President of Catholic Professional Society, talking about gender-based violence.
Born in 1567, Francis de Sales came from a privileged family, and his doctorate in law and theology, evangelized to Protestants, escaped assassins, and was friends with King Henry IV. The enduring value and popularity of his writings led Pope Pius XI to proclaim St. Francis de Sales as the patron saint of writers and journalists in 1923.
Speaking the truth in love, panelist Paul Hariknen highlighted the ranking of Papua New Guinea on the Gender Equality Index as 160 out of 161 countries. He said gender-based violence and lack of economic opportunities remain barriers to achieving gender equality.
Women and girls are created equally, were created equally in the very image and likeness of God. Genesis 1:26. There's no discrimination. We're all equally created in the image and likeness of God with the same dignity, equal dignity. And gender-based violence is repugnant to the general principles of humanity around the world, and PNG is no exception.
Hariknen highlighted that the National Strategy 2016 to 2025 identifies intimate partner violence as the most prevalent for gender-based violence across countries. 30% of women over the age of 15 experience physical or sexual violence by an intimate partner at least once in a lifetime. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
The Department of Personnel Management will visit provinces and districts to ensure administrative structures and human resources issues are in place for public servants. Public Service Minister Joe Sungi said the need to build institutional houses for public servants is paramount.
Minister for Public Service Joe Sungi said there is a great need for the department to assist provincial and district administrations to ensure diligence in their work output as public servants in the provinces. He said DPM must be strict in approving these structures so that the functions of the government are up and running and that there is manpower on the ground against these structures. He pointed out that there is no presence of public servants in the rural settings, and so such things need to be considered besides the locality, area base and services before approving structures for the provincial and district offices. Minister Sungi stated that the provincial health authorities, provincial administrations and police are the main provincial authorities that need the attention of the department. He said the need to build institutional houses for public servants is paramount. The minister said houses must be built before creating positions and approving structures. When housing has become a condition of employment, it will make public service attractive. It cuts spending on renting houses for public servants, especially doctors and police officers. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The Department of Personnel Management has declared 2023 as the call to action year with the implementation of key initiatives. Department Secretary Tai Sansan issued this bold statement when addressing department staff during its first meeting for the year on Tuesday, 24th January 2023. Sansan told staff to be prepared to deliver key initiatives that the department will be implementing. She also issued a stern warning to all staff on attendance, punctuality and dressing as foundations of what entails a public servant. The newly opened Bat Philemon Drive is an acknowledgement to one of Morobe's outstanding national leaders. Before cutting the ribbon to officially open the 4-lane concrete road on Tuesday, Lay MP John Rosso said the 4-term MP and former Finance Minister Philemon is also an IE landowner from Butibam village. Rosso further paid tribute to the people of IE, thanking them for letting Lay be the provincial capital of Morobe.
Before Honorable Governor, I'm talk finish. Before time young plamanet and been name him this Bat Philemon Drive in honor of one of our most outstanding national leaders, and also Manas Place Street, Manai Street. So acknowledge him online. Ahi blame or Papa block ground where you me ogra sinanta blame. So me bla to me morobe but me blow busyan. Ogra lo line la ai me talk appreciate him me bla lo disla me bla governor. This road is now not only it's been named already, but it's now consolidated. It will be called now the Bat Philemon Drive. So in acknowledgement of our esteemed leader Bat Philemon. So you may talk. Thank you, Lord Isla.
Much needed pap smear kits were donated today to the Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital in Lay. Harmony Gold staff from the Eden Valley mine in Bulolo district made the long drive to present the items to the Lay Cancer Treatment Center.
Staff of Harmony Gold from the Hidden Valley Mine in Morobe Province today donated 13 rapid pap smear kits, 1,000 cytology sterile brushes and 200 microscopic glass slides to the Lay Cancer Treatment Center. When presenting the items to staff at the Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital, Hidden Valley Superintendent Community Engagement from the Community Affairs Department, Benjamin Kamaya, said this was made possible through staff involvement.
So it was a fundraising on-site. Employees from all departments bought a pink shirt, for $20 to raise the funds to purchase these items. And the pink shirts were actually purchased by the department through the gentleman, the mine through the gentleman. So it is part of our program to support the wider community. And since Harmony has been here, it's been supporting both the Bulolo district and Engau, various capacities. So now War Warrior as well, so it's an ongoing program, and we're happy and pleased to continue to work with the key stakeholders of government. And we hope that this small contribution will go a long way in terms of supporting your endeavor to continue to attend to our people in
During the October 2022 Cancer Awareness Campaign, a team from the Lake Cancer Unit went to Hidden Valley to conduct checks as well as raise awareness on the subject. It was during the time when the Hidden Valley team saw the need for pap smear kits at the Enga Well Women's Clinic, considering no pap smear screening had been conducted for over a year. On behalf of the Morobe Provincial Health Authority, the Acting Director of Curative Health Services, Dr. Stephen James, acknowledged the mine for their contribution to the space of cervical cancer, saying it is still a big area of need for women in the community. Mary Silla Kelleton, TVWAN News.
This is TVWAN News. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him all together.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
What does it mean to be a man of honor? Having the courage to stand up for what is right. Being a voice for the vulnerable. The Man of Honor campaign aims to recognize ordinary men doing extraordinary things in their communities and helping to create opportunities to make the world a better place. Do you know a man of honor? Nominate him today. Visit the Digicel Foundation website and social media platforms for more information. Nominations close on February 3rd, 2023.
I want you to win somebody's heart. That's Naren.
I never asked for your help with anything, Dad. Don't impose your expectations.
I'm going to be the one who makes the final decision here.
Welcome back. Papua New Guinea will host the World Indigenous Business Forum in October this year, 2023. Prime Minister James Marape announced this in a media conference on Wednesday, saying the National Executive Council gave the approval. PNG is also co-funding the forum, the biggest event ever after APEC 2018.
Papua New Guinea will host the World Indigenous Business Forum this October. WIBF provides a platform for exchange of ideas, creation of partnerships, and bringing investment to communities, entrepreneurs, and organizations.
Our government has given full support to us hosting this event. It will be massive. I think she will indicate to us the magnitude of the event. The hundreds, if not thousands, they come to this event, something similar to the scope of APEC we hosted in 2018.
The WIBF is a forum where Indigenous-run businesses and people from all over the world, like the New Zealand Maoris and Australian Aborigines, converge for face-to-face conversations, envisioning shared learning and mutual opportunities in investment possibilities. Over 600 Indigenous businesses from all over the world and at least 400 Indigenous PNG businesses are expected to participate. The Ministry for International Trade and Investment will be the lead partner. A national steering committee chaired by Vice Minister Kesi Sawang will be set up. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The government is fulfilling its plan to importing less and developing more local agriculture industry, and is doing this by inviting large investors to come in and partner with the government and local people in developing large agricultural farms. This week, Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maro received one of the first groups of investors, the #1 Filipino rice farmer Danilo Bolos, and accompanied his delegates of technical people to parts of Karuku district to pursue rice farming prospects.
On Wednesday, 25th January, the team of MPs, including Richard Maru, Minister for International Trade and Investment, Vice Minister Kesi Sawang, and local member for Karuku Peter Isoaimong, visited possible rice farming land in Karuku district with Filipino #1 rice farmer Danilo Bolos to talk with the landowners regarding land for prospective rice farming.
Council, you clear all this land. Any investor, they will not put their money, their time and effort in any land whereby you got dispute. That's why the model farm must be on state land, not customary land. But you can plant up your own after you get the training and the support from the main model farm.
The aim of the visit is also to check the soil samples as well as securing a state land which is of 1,200 hectares to build a rice farming mill site which will help improve the livelihood of the surrounding villages in terms of job opportunities and creating sustainable rice farming pathways for the locals.
Today I'm out of government and I came back to fulfill a promise, a commitment I made to Minister Maru and Prime Minister Marape that I will help, even in my private capacity, to achieve the dream of Papua New Guinea, to produce your own rice. Because rice, I know that you have been told for so long that you cannot plant rice in Papua New Guinea. That's wrong. The truth is that Papua New Guinea and Indonesia are two of the countries in the world with the most number of wild rice varieties.
The investors have also plans to grow other crops as well if the rice project is successfully completed. They say Papua New Guinea has a large landmass that hasn't been occupied by large-scale commercial farming compared to the Philippines.
I'd like to follow up on the statement of Minister Maru. We don't want to create any conflict. We come because we want to invest, we want to help you, but you have to realize we are investing in Papua New Guinea because my plan is to send back some of those rice back to the Philippines. We also need rice. So if we produce more than what you need in Papua New Guinea, our agreement is that we bring it back to the Philippines so we can feed the Filipinos too.
After visiting the Kairuku villages, they will also visit Rigo villages. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
A parade held today was part of the week-long celebrations for the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force headquarters in Maribarak's Port Moresby. The celebrations today included a flyover of 2 Royal Australian Air Force.
The Papua New Guinea Defence Force headquarters was established in January 1966 as the PNG Military Command Base. The base was linked to the Northern Command headquarters in Australia. On February 1st, 1972, the Joint Force headquarters was established. On January 26, 1973, it was designated as the headquarters for the PNG Defence Force. Today, the establishment of the PNGDF headquarters in Mari Barracks was commemorated with a parade, an address from Commander Defence Force Major General Mark Goyna, and a flyover of 2 Royal Australian Air Force FA-18F Super Hornets. The unveiling of a plaque commemorating the 50th anniversary followed the parade. The week-long celebrations commenced on Wednesday with a reaffirmation church service. Celebrations conclude this Friday with the PNG Commander's Walk. Maricela Kelleton, TVWAN News.
Turning overseas now, Western Australia Governor Chris Johnson has been awarded the Companion of the Order of Australia in recognition of his law enforcement career. He's paid tribute to the many dozens of West Australians receiving honours on Australia Day.
After almost half a century in the police force, including as Commissioner, and being appointed Western Australia's 34th Governor, Chris Dawson now has another accolade, awarded Companion of the Order of Australia.
The job I've had as a police officer and nationally in the criminal intelligence sector has been to lead men and women of outstanding ability who I've had the absolute privilege of working with, and really I give them credit.
The award recognises Governor Dawson's service to public administration, having also been CEO of both the Australian Crime Commission and the Criminal Intelligence Commission. He's also recognised on the COVID-19 honour roll.
For me, I actually feel that there was a West Australian thing that we did, so it didn't surprise me that West Australians stood up.
Mental health expert Helen Milroy has been awarded an Order of Australia in recognition of her service to public health and the Indigenous community. Professor Milroy, who authors children's books as an outlet for her own resilience, says mental health is a highly rewarding discipline.
When you see children get back on track with their development and are happy and healthy, and you can see, the way forward for them, it's just such a wonderful reward. So yes, the work is hard, but I do believe the rewards are greater. When you think about it, if you establish good mental health and wellbeing in the early years, you pretty much have it for life.
Inspector John Munday of the Mid-West Gascoyne District has received an Australian Police Medal in recognition of a career which has resulted in a number of successful investigations, including the rescue of Cleo Smith. He's spent nearly 28 years in regional WA.
I love working in regional WA. I love working in a small community and actually being able to make a difference, and you can see the difference you're making.
He says it's humbling to receive recognition for simply going to work every day.
While national attention on Central Australia has been welcomed by community leaders, some women are calling the focus on alcohol restrictions a band-aid solution to complex problem. ABC's Samantha Jonja with the report.
Here one moment and gone the next. The Prime Minister's visit to Alice Springs came with reduced hours at bottle shops and a nod to the town's other painful crisis.
Domestic violence is a scourge. It's a scourge right around our country.
$4 million for emergency accommodation to support women and families fleeing violence, and $2 million for community programs was announced. But in a town with the highest rates of domestic violence in the country, many say closing bottle shops doesn't address why people are drinking in the first place or committing crimes.
Alcohol is not particularly the factor. We've always talked about family and domestic violence, where it actually came from. Education goes a long way, so what we do is that, we've got to look back at the impact of colonisation.
So this is a treatment. People are seeking something to deal with the trauma and loss and grief that they're experiencing.
And that grief is profound. Alice Springs has been described as the nation's murder capital, where First Nations women are hospitalised at 40 times the rates of other women in Australia. Ms. Campbell says every frontline organisation in Alice Springs needs significantly bigger purse strings.
If all services were funded, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. We'd be working together.
Unless we address why women and children are not safe in their homes, then we will continue to see this resulting in property crime, in kids on the streets.
DV funding is allocated on a per capita basis, but given the territory's dire need, services are calling for a much bigger piece of the pie, and the government says it's thinking about it.
This is a really important conversation, but we will need to see action.
With just a week until schools go back, universities are grappling with how to respond to the program, which takes just seconds to pump out essays on complex topics. ABC's Ashley Davids reports.
GPT is the new artificial intelligence tool causing a stir, able to churn out essays on any topic in a matter of seconds.
I really contest the idea that we just have to get on with contending with this new technology that's been foisted upon us.
It's leading to concern students may use it for assignments and exams rather than do the work themselves. Universities are revising how they will run assessments this year to accommodate the new software. UWA has issued a statement saying it considers the use of unattributed ChatGPT as academic misconduct and a breach of its student conduct regulations. The Student Guild believes the app could assist learning but presents a challenge.
It's up to the universities to make the learning and teaching more engaging and to make assessments that students genuinely have to participate in and don't want to or can't use AI.
Though fast, ChatGPT isn't always accurate. Law and technology expert Julia Powles says students should be wary.
I think young people are curious about technology, but they should be curious too about the implicit compromises of products developed by foreign companies that are scraping material from all kinds of sources.
Schools are also worried about the potential impact. 3 states have already moved to ban the tool's use. WA education authorities are yet to reveal their policy for state schools, but this private school in Perth has already made its decision.
The people who are using it, the people who have the knowledge, that's what we need to do. We need to embody that and not be scared of it. Banning it doesn't work. Banning things does not work.
The WA Education Department says it will make a decision on the tool by the start of the school term.
Coming up in sports with Jasmine Eru, the GSL Cup commanded, and corporate netball nears finals. And taking us to the break is the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
And pay your TV bills with a breeze. Call us today on toll-free number 1515 to set up your monthly postpaid TV subscription. And if you do, you can watch Digicel TV on your mobile for free. No data costs and no additional subscription. Don't miss out. Call us today for your residential postpaid TV package today. Digicel TV. More channels, more choice, more value.
The Melbourne Rebels taking on the Fijian and Drua. On they come, they go for it, they'll get the try. They deserve it, oh do they deserve it. It's the night of the flyer, and Bosse! Oh, he's done it again. He runs with Matawalu in turn for Rumble. Welcome to MotoGP. To be a highly dramatic 18-lap Malaysian Grand Prix Moto 2 started with...
So that's a very decent middle sector for the Alpine. They only half it.
Oh! They have crashed! They've gone into each other! What a start for Will Davison. Di Pasquale has been swamped.
Some of the biggest and most talented egos in sailing.
The two-time defending champions make it 2 in a row.
All aboard the Amazing Race Charter!
New destinations.
You're going to the Kingdom of Jordan.
New twists.
For the first time in Amazing Race history.
New season.
You're here for a reason, because you're great, so you be great.
The Amazing Race. Season premiere, February 7th at 8:50. Only on AXN.
Super Rugby Pacific. The pride of the Pacific Islands on display.
Thanks for staying with us. In sports, the PNG Rugby Football League has commended the Digicel Cup for supporting the sport and are looking forward to working with the team in the next coming months. PNG RFL CEO Stanley Hondina said the appointment aspires and supports the sport. On behalf of the PNG RFL board chairman and the board, Hondina acknowledged Digicel Cup heads Lorna McPherson and the team for putting the process through and getting to the stage where they can have additional manpower into sports delivering towards the competition and support the game.
Our 6-year structure that graduates or stands as the bridge between our amateur sport in our affiliates and associates league into our hunters and communes and orchids. So having people that with the correct skill set is very important to serving the purpose of Digicel Cup within the whole of the game structure. So I'm looking forward to working with them. PNG RFL will continue to support like we always do and see Digicel Cup getting better with a few announcements to come in the next weeks and months leading up to it.
Although there were a number of forfeits in last weekend's matches, it was a better day as more teams returned to the Rita Flynn Netball Court in Port Moresby for the private company's netball competition. Team representatives have been encouraged to talk to their respective teams to complete matches for the season before the final playoffs come early February. Competition President Julie Mai says the match is all about keeping fit, healthy, and creating friendship among corporate companies. On Sunday, January the 29th, the last matches will be played. Outstanding games to be played on the 4th of February before the finals. President Mai said the format to the finals is top 4 by percentage, setting a pace for a vigorous contest among corporates. The exciting clash of cultures takes place on 11th February 2023 as the NRL Harvey Norman All-Stars heads to Rotorua International Stadium in New Zealand. The Indigenous and Maori sides have been named in the upcoming clash. NRL players including Joseph Manu, James Fisher-Harris, Joseph Tapine and Jared Wairea-Hargreaves have been selected for the Maori team, while the Indigenous All-Stars will have Latrell Mitchell, Josh Aroka, Nico Hines and Selwyn Kobo in their side. However, the Maori All-Stars will have 7 players set to play in the showpiece event for the first time and will be missing halfback and 2022 co-captain Cody Nikorima as well as Chanel Harris Tavita. It's likely Manu will play in the number 6 jersey while one of the younger playmakers will fill in at halfback in Nikorima's absence. The Indigenous All-Stars could have a significant advantage with Dally M medal winner Hines, veterans Cody Walker and Jack Witten along with Brisbane's Ezra Mam as their playmaking options. The women's and men's matches will follow a certain razor between the Maori and Indigenous All-Stars touch football teams. And that ends the sports segment. Over to you, Jemima.
Thank you, Jasmine. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.